toxic family members that make you dread the holidays? Maybe you do a great job avoiding them all year, but you twitch at the thought of getting together with them on Christmas. Look, toxic people are all around us. Perhaps you've encountered them in your workplace and you strategically avoid them. Or perhaps they're in your church and you conveniently take cover when you see them coming. We all have our way of dealing with toxic people in our lives, and it usually involves some form of avoidance. But what happens when these toxic people are going to be sitting right at your holiday dinner table, and avoidance is not an option? In my counseling and coaching practice, one of the most difficult times of year I find is the holidays, and not for the loneliness that you would expect, but for the stress that toxic family members bring. A part of you wants to love this person, but you just can't handle the way they treat you. So what do? Following these do's and don'ts can bring peace to your holiday season and possibly to the relationship. Don't get sucked in. Look, toxic family members often have a dysfunctional and abrasive way of communicating. If you can remain detached from the emotions that are rising up in you, you're going to be more successful at communicating your feelings. Instead, do hear the person out and respond in a calm, mature manner. It may help to take a few deep breaths, and this will help you to train your brain to think before speaking. This will not likely change them, but it will stop the dysfunctional dance. Don't sacrifice yourself for the sake of the relationship. The Bible says, when possible, live at peace with one another. So do the best you can to live peacefully, but do recognize that a relationship takes two. And if the other person is not willing to work with you, it is okay to disconnect for your sake. The Bible also says to guard your heart. So there is no justification for staying in an abusive, hostile, manipulative relationship with a person, regardless of his or her familial position in your life. Keep in mind that the time will soon be over and you will get to disconnect, but they still have to go home with themselves. Don't point fingers. Many toxic family members are difficult because they lack empathy and have inadequate coping and communication skills. So instead, do focus on how their behavior makes you feel. Avoid statements such as "you make me" or "you never," and instead say "I feel blank when you blank." Look to see if the toxic family member will assume the responsibility or at the very least acknowledge your feelings. If you are met with blame and ridicule, well, now you know what you're dealing with, and this person has very little interest in your well-being. Don't feel as if you have to explain yourself. Justifying your actions is not necessary. I love the way the Bible says it in Matthew 5:37, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no." So instead, do set boundaries and don't feel guilty about them. If this person loves you, she will respect your boundaries even if she doesn't agree. Learning how to handle toxic family members can take time. You don't have to keep the stress and anxiety bottled up inside of you. You can handle toxic family members with grace and dignity. Many make the mistake of thinking that as soon as they employ healthy strategies, the toxic family member is going to straighten right up. This almost never happens, so don't expect it. Your toxic family members may never change, but you don't have the job to make them change, and you also don't have to let them rob you of your peace and your joy this holiday season. For more help, I want you to click down below in the description box and grab your copy of the Toxic People Survival Guide and learn how to identify and deal with the 5 different types of toxic people. And if you're struggling with negative thought patterns that are keeping you trapped and stealing your happiness, I want to ask that you would join me for our one-day intensive. If you are in the New Jersey area, join us Saturday, January 20th. It is from 9 to 4, and we are going to overcome toxic thoughts. It's time to win the battle in your mind. I can't wait to see you there. Until next time, may your holidays be blessed beyond your wildest imagination.